3, 2, 1, go! Hello and welcome. Today we're going a little further. It's day 255, so we're going 25.5 kilometers. Today we're going to talk about VO2Max, what it is, how to measure it, and how to improve it. I've never been very good at using stats and methods and so on to improve my running. Mostly I just run. And there are different ways to run. You can have a goal, you can try to achieve something, or you can do it because you just simply enjoy it and want to go into nature and enjoy that. There is no right and wrong when it comes to your goals for running, but it's clear that if your goals are to improve, to be the fastest, to go the longest, you may need to use some specific methods and improve certain stats. So let's start by talking about what VO2Max actually is. VO2 stands for volume of oxygen, and the max is because it's a measure for how much the body at maximum can obtain. To be precise, it's milliliters each kilo of body mass can obtain each minute. It ranges from perhaps 25 if you're not in very good shape, all the way up to above 60. So if you have a VO2 max of, let's say, 51, that means that each kilo of your body can obtain 51 milliliters of oxygen every minute. So why is this important? Well, oxygen is fuel for the muscles. There are also a lot of other factors going into it, but basically the more oxygen your muscles can utilize, the faster and harder and longer it can work. So just like with an engine, the more fuel you can consume, the faster your car can go. So if you can consume a lot of oxygen and your muscle can utilize it, you'll be able to go faster. There are, of course, just like with an engine, a lot of other factors that goes into all these calculations for speed and endurance and so on. But VO2 max is a very good indicator of how your body works and how well it works. So how does one measure the VO2 max? Well, today it's rather easy to get at least an estimation. If you have a running watch, many will be able to give you a measurement of your VO2 max based on your latest runs. So it will use your pace and your heartbeat, the distance you've gone and so on to calculate an estimate. Now, if you want to get an exact measurement of your VO2 max, you can go into a runner's lab. There you can go through a lot of pre-planned exercises where the lab will measure all the metrics of your body, and then you can get a much more precise evaluation of what your VO2 max is. Now this I actually considered, but it is a rather hard exercise program you need to go through, and I don't feel comfortable stressing my body that much at the moment. It is possible for a certain amount of money. You can get it measured very precisely, and if you're serious about your running, this may be an option for you. As I said in the start, I normally don't care too much about all these numbers because I know my body, I know how I feel, I know where I can push and where I can't, but I've never been a serious athlete, so there's a vast difference there. Maybe you're just curious and want to know, and that's fine as well. And that leads us to what can you actually use this number for? Well, on its own you can get a sense of your physical abilities, your stamina, your endurance, your speed. All of these things can be kind of predicted based on your VO2 max. Obviously you can also try to improve it, and that can only be done with exercise. Obviously, if you're a smoker, for example, you could quit smoking and that would probably help your VO2 max as well. But as a general rule, you need to train and exercise to get to a higher VO2 max. You need to train your muscles into actually being able to use and utilize more oxygen. Oh, look at that. The geese are coming back. They've been south all winter and now they're going back north. It is a beautiful morning and I really enjoy when the sun is shining like this. But we were talking about VO2 max. So if you want to increase your VO2 max, there are different methods, but what seems to be generally most accepted is high intensity training. And just the word makes my spine go all. I hate high intensity training, but it is effective. You need to shock your body. You need to go very, very fast for a shorter period of time and then relax, get your pulse down and then speed up and run fast. And this way the body will get used to obtaining more oxygen and the muscles will start using more oxygen. They will also grow a bit perhaps, but that shock to the body is good for VO2 max. Combine that with longer and slow recovery runs and you should be on your way to a better VO2 max pretty soon. So what about me? What is my VO2 max? Well, currently I'm lying very steadily on 53, which is a bit above average, I would guess, for a runner. I'm totally fine with that. Now, it hasn't developed for a long time. I can show you a chart of my VO2 max the last year. At the start of the project, I was not running much and hadn't done for a while. So it was around 50. And then it slowly increased up to the 53 I'm at now. And then it's been lying steady there for a lot of months. And you may think, but Lars, you're running like 25 kilometers each day. Why isn't it higher? I'm not doing high intensity training. It's that simple. I'm simply not pressuring my body in the right way for VO2 max to increase. Now I'm building my body in other ways. There are other measurements that indicate the endurance of your body, but I won't be able to go out and run a fast 5 kilometer. I may do a decent 5 kilometer, but I simply don't have the tools, if you like to put it like that, in my body to go fast. I trot along every day at a more or less stable 6 minutes per kilometer. Maybe a bit faster and maybe a bit slower, but I don't pressure my vascular system, my bloodstream, my blood flow, my lungs. I'm never puffed, I'm never out of breath. I'm just going la-di-da all day. So that's why my VO2 max isn't increasing, and I'm not going to do anything about it because that's not the goal for me. It may become the goal once this project is done, but increasing your VO2 max comes at a price. You can't run 25 kilometers each day and do high intensity training. Well, perhaps someone can, but I can't. It would result in injuries and it would result in burnout, and I'm just not going to do that. So that's why my VO2 max is just a flat line. So there are many stats that tell you about your body, and maybe we'll go over some more of them later. But this was all for VO2 max for today. Now we're going above the bridge and it's a clear day. So today I can show you the view. I hope you learned something about VO2 max without it being too rudimentary. And then let me know if there are other stats you'd like to hear about. It's a noisy bridge. I'm going to turn the noise down and the music up a bit, and then we can enjoy the view. I was up here a couple of days ago where the fog was immense. You couldn't see a thing. but now I can show you the view. Let's keep going. So I run almost 22 kilometers and just figured out that that means I have almost 4 kilometers left. So I'm only 2 kilometers from home, so we need to make a detour. So here we go, detour. And with that we made it to 25 kilometers, which means we're almost done. It was a good run today. It was amazing to have the sun out and the mittens off. I hope you enjoyed the run and this talk about VO2Max. Then you can decide if this is something you'd like to look into on your own. And then I'd like to wish you a wonderful Tuesday. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow for 24.6 kilometers. Bye. And there we go, 25.5 kilometers.